It's BMG Radio. This week, Better Movie Guy's looking at Star Wars news, Nolan news, and some fan theories. Oh yeah, let's get to it. Brought to you by the Better Movie Guy. Hi, I'm the Better Movie Guy, and this is BMG Radio. Thank you for coming back to the second edition of this. This is the second installment of BMG Radio. So if you don't know, this is the radio show where I get to talk about just things I find out about film or things I've watched lately, and so let's just get to it. Starting with the news. First thing first, before we get to any other news, we have one piece of news that came out kind of by accident almost. John Lasseter, who's a big up in Disney and Pixar, was at a press conference and was asked a question about Star Wars, and out of nowhere, it wasn't to do with Star Wars. The press conference had nothing to do with it, but he was like, oh yeah, by the way, yeah, we're going to be dropping some Blu-rays with theatrical cuts. Now, if you know me, you know I've been desperately wanting Blu-rays that have theatrical cuts on them of the original Star Wars. I even did a video about it called, Come On, Where Are My Star Wars Blu-rays, Disney? Apparently Disney listened to me because hopefully, this is not confirmed, like they don't have a release date, but he said that Disney is coming out with theatrical cuts on Blu-ray, untampered with, probably cleaned up, I'm hoping, so they look nice, but not messed with, where Han Solo shoots first, and, you know, where Jabba the Hutt isn't in the first movie, and all the stupidness that George Lucas put in, they're taking out, and they're going to just give me what I know as Star Wars. It's my Star Wars. Now, I don't begrudge anyone their Star Wars, even the prequels. If they like that kind of crap, you can enjoy it. Go ahead and take the prequels. And I don't begrudge anyone who grew up watching the new versions of Star Wars. But I didn't. I grew up watching the original, uncut, unmessed with versions. Say what you will, but I want them. And so this is big news for me. I don't know. I'm sure for some people this matters nothing at all. But for me and many other geeks, movie geeks, especially geek geeks that are Star Wars geeks out there, this is a big deal because we're finally getting what we want. Okay, moving from that to Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan, as you probably know, is my favorite director. He's featured in my last BMG Radio and my 60 Seconds of Awesome. Well, he's even more awesome now because this isn't fully confirmed, but the project that he is coming out with in 2017 might be, and there's a good chance it might be, the first installment of an Akira movie. Now, if you don't know what Akira is a Japanese animation. It's a manga or an anime, however you want to call it. I don't care. It's one of the first ones I ever saw as a teenager. It's from the 80s. And it still holds up to this day. The imagery is still incredible. The visuals are just blowing you out of the water. And the story is really cool, too. It's very science fiction-y. And they've been talking for years about trying to get this into a live-action film, which I haven't been that much excited for. But now that you're saying Christopher Nolan's going to direct it and they're going to turn it into 3 movies because it's a big story, holy crap, that's going to be amazing. This blows my mind. This is just, now that's officially the movie in 2017 that I want to see the most. And it's 2 years away, but I'm still, the thought that Christopher Nolan is going to direct Akira live action, I hope they do it right. I hope they get like an Asian cast if they can, or at least make it smart. But the thought that he's going to do it is just, it makes my heart leap with joy. The last bit of news I want to talk about this week was there's been talk of a Booster Gold Blue Beetle movie. Now I found this out from my buddy Art's channel on his Newsdays Tuesday segment, and yes, Blue Beetle and Booster Gold. You probably don't know these guys. Booster Gold is this hero in the DC universe from the future, and he came to the past because he figured it'd be easier to be a hero because he has all this future technology. He's cheesy, he's corny, he has one-liners, and Nathan Fillion desperately wants to play him, and it would be probably one of the best superhero casting choices I could think of. He would have made a great Green Lantern, but he'd make an even better Booster Gold. He's sarcastic, he's whiny, Nathan Fillion could knock this out of the park. The Blue Beetle character, I'm not sure who they'd get to play, but apparently it's going to be a buddy cop kind of film, which would be funny as anything, and just, I could see Nathan Fillion doing this. I think if they're really smart, they would put him and Alan Tudyk, or Tudyk, however you say his name, Wash from Firefly. Put the two of those together. They already work together. They do a TV show called Con Men or a web show called Con Men. This would be perfect. Put the two of them together, let them have a buddy cop film as superheroes. And I think it's gold. It's just comedy gold. So that's it for the news. Now I'm going to move to Pixar. I have a friend who asked me to talk about Pixar theories. Now, if you don't know, there is a theory in the Pixar universe that all Pixar movies share the same universe. All these movies are now, and you're like, how does that work? Because you have like Wall-E in the future, and you have Cars, who are talking cars, but that's supposed to fit in the same universe with Toy Story and A Bug's Life and Up, and the whole thought is it's one big timeline. So A Bug's Life and Wall-E and all those take place in Cars, takes place years later, and things like Up and, well, I don't know, Up and a couple of those movies, or like Monsters Inc. takes place today, roughly, in our generation. And then there's stuff like Brave and that takes place before. And it's supposed to all take place at the same time. Well, not same time, but same universe. It's a shared universe. So Brave happens in the same exact universe as Wall-E, as Cars, as you name the Pixar film, Ratatouille. I don't know. This sounds good, and you could, like, they do little tributes to Pixar. Like, Pixar is one big inside joke if you work at Pixar. There's lots of little nods. There's the A113 thing, which is a classroom that they all went to. And each film has the Pizza Planet truck apparently in it somewhere. Is garbage in the background, as like, you know, Toy Story, it's an actual vehicle that they use. But it's one of those things where it's like they've put it in everything. Now, did they put it in everything to show that this is all one universe, or did they do it just because they could do it? I don't know. On its face, it sounds plausible, except for the cars. The cars just... Where did the cars fit in that they all of a sudden became sentient? And where are the people? That's the main crux I have with the problem with the Pixar theme, and the Pixar theory, and the Pixar... Like, it's just... Take cars out of that equation, and you may actually have me sold on this. Because, yeah, it could work. The bugs... You know, bugs talk to each other bugs, so you don't need that. And toys, I can live with that. And everything else seems to work, but just the Cars movie seems to throw it all out of whack, because what's the timing of that? Does it take place after Wall-E? Does it take place before Wall-E? And because of that, I'm calling shenanigans on the Pixar theory. I'm saying it doesn't work. Okay, now we're going to move on to what I bought this week. And I did not buy a lot. I've mentioned last week that I'm losing that money stuff, like that cash. I don't have a lot of that. But I was in the dollar store. There's this thing called the dollar store. You all know the dollar store. And they have cheap Blu-rays, like $3 Blu-rays. And I found this little gem for $3. It's called Galaxian, or Galaxina, we'll say. And it's a double feature, and it comes with a Crater Lake monster. I've never heard of either of these movies. I've never seen either of these movies. I bought this for $3 because it looks terrible, and for $3, what are you going to do? So that is awesome. I will tell you eventually if I ever want them. I'm sooner or later getting around to seeing them, so I will let you know if they're any good or bad, or if you're really missing out. Probably not, but you know, who knows. And last time I mentioned that I bought Mad Max and that I had a code for it. No one has claimed the code so far. All you have to do to claim the code is be a subscriber to BMG Radio and then tell me you want the movie. So I have yet to have anyone claim that. So I'm going to give it till the next BMG Radio. And if no one says anything by then, I'm going to put it on Twitter and give it to whoever wants it. And if no one wants it then I'm just going to cry with my Mad Max digital copy. And that'll be that. Now, on to 60 Seconds of Awesome. Yes, 60 Seconds of Awesome. Yeah, this is what a guy looks like for 60 seconds. It's awesome. But probably less, because he just wasted time. Anyways, doesn't matter. Here you go. Brought to you by the Movie Guy. So today in 60 Seconds of Awesome, I'm looking at Idris Elba. Idris Elba is an English actor who is my choice to play Batman if they ever recast the role. Idris Elba has been on shows like The Wire and Luther over in England. He's been in Pacific Rim, where he's canceling the apocalypse. And he is just one of the coolest people on the planet. If you don't know Idris Elba, look him up. Brilliant actor, awesome guy, cool as anything. This is Baron Movie Guy, 60 Seconds of Awesome. Who do you think should be next week's 60 Seconds of Awesome? Let Baron Movie Guy know. Moving on to what I watched this week. Now, I've watched a bunch of films this week, so I'm going to go through them quickly with you, and you tell me if you've seen any of them, or comment if you like these movies, if you think they're terrible, if you think they're awesome. First movie I watched, I'm going to explain. I've having trouble sleeping lately. So I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning one day. It was a Saturday, and I was just like, oh, I think I'm going to go downstairs and play some Resident Evil 4, because that's what I generally do when I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and can't think of anything else to do. But lo and behold, my daughter woke up at the exact same time, and so I can't play Resident Evil 4 with her there because it'll scare her. So we decided to watch a movie together at 5 o'clock in the morning, and we watched Winnie the Pooh. Now let me tell you, Winnie the Pooh is a great Disney movie. This is a throwback movie that they did a couple years ago with hand-drawn 2D animation. The story is great. The visuals are beautiful. It's Winnie the Pooh. It's just such a fun time. And I loved it. I wish Disney would make more movies like this. I really think they need to get back to not like getting rid of all the other animation styles. That's fun too. But they need to put some more attention into 2D classical animation. Overall, Winnie the Pooh is a totally fun movie, and I give it 4 beards out of 5. Next up, I finished the Lethal Weapon movie series. I watched Lethal Weapon 4. Now, I've seen it before, in case anyone's like, oh, you've never seen that? No, I watched 1 to 3 last time, so I ended up watching Lethal Weapon 4, and still a fun movie. I like the fact that it's the same crew for the whole thing. So it's the same director, same stars, and the family just keeps growing. And there's a big theme of family in this one. Everyone's having kids, and there's marriages, and all this kind of stuff happening. It's fun. What this movie's known for more than anything else, this is the first American appearance of Jet Li, where he played the only bad guy he's ever really played, or at least had to at that point. He'd always played good guys, and then his first American movie, he plays the bad guy. He's pretty awesome in that, but he's very restrained because he's fighting guys that he would destroy within a heartbeat if he was realistically allowed to. So, but the movie works for what it is. It was a good cap to the series, and I give it 3 beards out of 5. Next up, I watched Harvey, the classic movie with Jimmy Stewart, where he has an imaginary friend. Or does he have an imaginary friend? This movie's so awesome. It's so classic. And it has a really interesting look if you work in the mental health field, or even if you know anything about the mental health field, how different and how much it's changed over the years. Because like they're just like, oh, let's just grab the person, throw them over your shoulder, and throw them in a bathtub, and because we think they're crazy. And it's just, the world is a much different place now than it was then. Jimmy Stewart is awesome. He gives just a terrific performance. He actually played this in theater live with the other woman that's his sister for 6 months before they did the film. So he knows the character inside and out. You can really tell. He really, really loved doing the movie. And it's just, it shows. Harvey's a classic. I give it 4 beards out of 5. Speaking of another classic, I watched Easy Rider right afterwards. A very different movie than Harvey. Easy Rider was a film that just got made, and it's amazing it got made for all the trouble it went through. But it says a lot about a time period in American history and just how people were treated, and it set off a whole culture of people who wanted to be Captain America and Billy. If you don't know, it's about these 2 guys who do a drug deal, get some money, and then go riding on their bike to Mardi Gras. And it's just, they're kind of easy living, and how they're just got no responsibilities, and they're just going where the wind takes them. It's got an ending that you won't forget. Let's just put it that way. And some really great performances, especially from Peter Fonda and Dennis Hopper. It hasn't aged well, but at the same time, it's like a time capsule. So looking at it as what it is and what it did, I give it 4 beards out of 5. A couple weeks ago, I watched Friday the 13th 1 and 2, the real ones, the original ones, and they're great, fun films. I saw Friday the 13th Killer Cut, which is the new version, on my shelf at my library, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to look at it. Yeah, that was a mistake. This movie is awful. It's terrible. The dialogue is awful. The way it's shot is awful. I should have known when it said a Michael Bay production. I was like, holy crap, Michael Bay produced this? Yeah, Michael Bay produced that. It was awful. There's boobs. That's all it has going for it. Boobs. I know some people are probably going to go watch it now, but skip it. Skip it. Just, it's not worth seeing. Storytelling's terrible, the acting's pretty awful, and it's just, watch the original one. It's way better. I give it 1.5 beards out of 5. Yeah, I don't. And lastly, I watched First Blood, which some people call Rambo First Blood, but actually it's called First Blood. And it's the first story of Rambo and how he comes to a small town and gets kicked out of the town immediately. And then when he wants to go back in the town, he gets arrested. And basically he goes nuts on them because he's flashing back to Nam. And the whole town gets after him, basically. This is a really solid film. I haven't seen this in a long time. I watched it when I was a lot younger. And I gotta say, Sylvester Stallone did a great job as John Rambo. He's just a guy who's tortured, and he really just wants to be left alone. He wants to get something to eat for lunch. That's all he wants. He hasn't asked for anything. He's not doing anything wrong. All he wants is lunch. And because he's got a military jacket on and long hair, they kick him out of the town and then arrest him. This happened to a lot of vets after Vietnam, and it was kind of, this told the story of two extremes, but it told a story that was very relevant and very real of what was happening to people. I give Rainbow 4 beards out of 5. And that's what I've been watching this week. Let me know, have you seen any of those movies? Do you love any of those movies? Do you hate those movies? Or do you really want to see some of those movies? If you want to know what I've been watching lately, other than just turning into here, you can go to Letterboxd. Letterboxd is a website that keeps your information, and I keep a movie diary and lets you know exactly what I've been watching, what rating I give it, and I try to give a little review. Sometimes it's 2 words, sometimes it's a whole paragraph, who knows. But check Letterboxd out, it's just www.letterboxd.com. And you can set up your own thing and you can follow people, so you could follow me. I'm just listed as Bearded Movie Guy. And a lot of the people I know that are on YouTube are also on Letterboxd. It's a great little community. You get to see what people are watching and you get to see the reviews of things really quickly. And last, we move on to the Q&A. I don't have many questions this week. The 2 questions I got this week are both from Mark Bardo, and first one's about the Robin in the Batman trailer. Now you see Robin's suit and it's all bullet holed up, and at first I didn't know it was Robin's suit, but it is Robin's suit. I'll show you a picture right here. And it's got bullet holes and it's got spray painting on it. And he wanted to know what I thought this played into the storyline. Now, I'm assuming this is the Robin. I'm assuming that since Batman's been kind of away for a while in this storyline, this is the Robin suit where Robin died and Joker killed him. If you don't know, Joker killed one of the Robins, not the original, but he killed one of them whose name was Jason Todd. And Batman kind of never fully recovered from it fully. He kind of really took it hard. And Joker just killed this Robin very violently. And I think this is the suit that Batman keeps as a reminder and lets him look at it and be like, I failed. I suck. I shouldn't be Batman anymore. I think that's what it goes. A lot of people have talked about maybe Jason Todd is the new Joker in Suicide Squad. I'm hoping not. I don't think so. I would be thrilled if Jason Todd turned out to be the Red Hood, if they worked that into it, because that's usually how it works in the comics, I believe. But as it stands now, I think that's the storyline they're going to play out, and they'll probably have flashbacks. I'm hoping that will allude to that. And the last question was from Mark, where he talks about there is a possible Obi-Wan movie in the works, and how do I feel about that? It could be cool if they got the right actor. I don't know if they're going to go with Ewan McGregor again. They may not. Alec Guinness is obviously not going to do it because he's passed away. And I don't know. I don't think it's necessary. But if it was done well enough, I'd watch it. That's all I can say about it. So thank you so much for listening to BMG Radio. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, things you want me to talk about, hit me up on Twitter at Bearded Movie Guy. Hit me up on the comments section. I would love to hear what your thoughts are. And until next time, stay bearded. Thanks for listening. And YouTube, Sefre.